So, who would you say is the United States' most important ally in the Middle East? Many Americans would say Israel, and they wouldn't necessarily be wrong. But what if I told you there was another ally in the region that is just as important, but far more discreet, operating in the background while supporting U.S. interests for 70 years now? Would you think it's Egypt? Maybe Saudi Arabia? What if I told you it is Jordan? So, obviously, Israel brings immense strategic value through its advanced military, cutting edge technology, and shared intelligence programs, but it also acts unilaterally, sometimes in ways that complicate US diplomacy, and sometimes in ways that are flat out wrong. In 2025 alone, Israeli airstrikes in Syria and Gaza, including one that hit a Catholic church and another near Damascus, caught the Trump administration by surprise. Reports coming out of the administration describe Netanyahu as erratic, with one senior Trump official labeling him a madman. Even within a pro-Israel White House, there is growing frustration over Israel's disregard for coordination. Washington's calls for restraint are often ignored, especially amid humanitarian crises in Gaza that we're experiencing right now. Meanwhile, Jordan remains consistent and dependable. It quietly hosts thousands of U.S. troops, provides basing rights at the Muwafaq Salti Air Base, and facilitates covert operations in Syria and Iraq. Its intelligence services have been crucial in counterterrorism efforts, especially against ISIS and Al Qaeda affiliates in that region. Even when rejecting U.S. pressure to accept resettlement of Palestinians from Gaza, which was a Trump administration proposal widely condemned as forced displacement, King Abdullah II handled the issue diplomatically. He protected his nation's sovereignty without derailing bilateral relations. This is why there are consistently special carve-outs for Jordan within U.S. diplomacy, no matter the party in charge. And this isn't something that is new. Jordan has quietly been in the U.S. sphere of influence since the 1950s, especially since King Hussein aligned with American interests during the Cold War. In the book The Back Channel, CIA director and former ambassador to Jordan William Burns praised former Jordanian King Hussein as, quote, one of the most impressive Arab leaders I dealt with, end quote. A man whose word was trusted by both American presidents and regional adversaries. Burns noted that Hussein was an irreplaceable partner in sensitive negotiations, even when U.S. goals clashed with Arab sentiment. He added that Hussein's quiet personal diplomacy often diffused crises behind the scenes. That legacy lives on through King Abdullah II, who followed in his father's footsteps as a bridge between worlds. More than a few wars have been averted in the region due to Jordanian mediation. When King Hussein died in 1999, then President Clinton, former President Bush, and former President Carter all attended his funeral with a massive U.S. diplomatic outpouring. This level of representation was extraordinary and reflected a deep respect that Washington held for King Hussein, who had been a critical U.S. ally and Middle East peace broker for nearly 5 decades. Jordan was one of the few Arab states to sign a peace treaty with Israel, doing so in 1994. It has helped mediate between Palestinians and Israelis when peace processes stalled, and has often acted as an intermediary in talks involving Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and even Iraq. They launched interceptors at Iranian missiles heading towards Israel along with the U.S., and is one of only 4 countries with a free trade agreement with the U.S., and it is the only Arab nation with a free trade agreement with the U.S. Canada, Mexico, and Israel are the only other countries that have that, putting Jordan in rarefied air. A big reason for this is its geographic position is unmatched. It borders Israel, Syria, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia, placing it at the crossroads of every major U.S. military and diplomatic concern in the region. During operations in Syria and the fight against ISIS, Jordan served as the launch pad for both air missions and humanitarian aid. During the U.S. withdrawal from Iraq, Jordan facilitated critical logistics and intelligence handoffs. With the exception of its reluctant stance during the 1991 Gulf War, when King Hussein tried to mediate rather than join the U.S.-led coalition, Jordan has aligned itself with American strategy consistently. After 9/11, Jordan was one of the first Arab countries to provide intelligence on Al Qaeda. It continues to help the U.S. monitor Iranian proxies, smuggling networks, and radical cells across the Levant. Few Arab governments in the region have that kind of trusted local access to tribal and insurgent sources that U.S. agencies rely on for real-time decision-making. Even now, as U.S.-Israeli relations grow tense under Trump's second term with what Netanyahu is doing, Jordan has emerged as a quiet stabilizer. It isn't just helping, it's preventing escalation. It provides calm realm in a region that constantly threatens to unravel. And while Israel grabs headlines, Jordan is the one doing the daily, detailed, dangerous work that keeps the U.S. missions in the Middle East functional. Israel won't dare undermine the US Jordan alliance, and it certainly would never strike Jordan because it knows that it would threaten its own security and provoke a harsh backlash from its most powerful ally, the United States. So, when asked about America's most important ally in the region, the easy answer is Israel. But the more honest answer definitely includes Jordan as well. And I say this because I worry that the American people hear Middle Eastern Arab country and they automatically think bad. We have good friends in the region, and they also include Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates, all of whom provide basing, intelligence sharing, and diplomatic cover within the Middle East for the US. Without these countries, and especially Jordan, the US would lose a crucial piece of its forward posture. Jordan may not be loud, but it is indispensable.